standing at the summit of Bluff Mountain, Virginia at 4,860 feet. It is kind of hard to believe that this is the fourth highest ranked summit in Virginia, and it pales in comparison to nearby Whitetop Mountain and Mount Rogers, which are both over 5,500 feet. However, this is ranked and on the Virginia 4,500 list, and a very short bushwhack up from Virginia Highway 600. So I decided to start my day with it. And now I'm going to go on to my main hike to the summit of Whitetop Mountain through those trees. Hey everyone, it is Sunday, November the 11th, Veterans Day, around 10:50 a.m. and it is another beautiful weekend for hiking. Been pretty fortunate the past month that cold, rainy fronts have come through the mountains on Thursday or Friday almost every week, which clears out all of the humidity and clouds, brings in the high pressure, which means blue skies and really good visibility. Yesterday was actually the coldest day of the year so far. Freeze warning all over the southeast, and in the mountains at these higher elevations, the temperatures were in the teens to 20s with wind chills below 10 degrees in some spots. But it's warming up today, and even though it's probably around 30 degrees, there's no wind right now, and I'm facing the sun, which is, I don't know how it looks in the camera right now, so it feels warmer than it is. And plus I already had a little warm-up hike earlier to Bluff Mountain, and I actually think I got that wrong already. I said it was the fourth highest peak in Virginia. Now I'm beginning to think it is the fifth highest peak, behind Mount Rogers, Whitetop Mountain, Stone Mountain, and Haw Orchard Mountain. Anyways, you know me, sometimes I get these things wrong, but I always try to correct myself. I am hiking the Appalachian Trail west, which is trail direction south, on my way to Buzzard Rock, which is the point of a series of balds below Whitetop Mountain. Then from there, I'm going to take the old Appalachian Trail. There should be an old Appalachian Trail path to meet Whitetop Mountain Road near the summit of Whitetop Mountain, which is the second highest peak in Virginia at 5,580 feet. Even though this is located just west of Mount Rogers, I've never actually hiked this section of the Appalachian Trail. And I'm sorry I haven't, because the parking area off of Virginia Highway 600 in Elk Garden was beautiful. And I know there's a long series of balds around Buzzard Rock, which are going to have great southern views. And I hope to get there before the sun rises directly above those North Carolina peaks. Since this is a relatively easy and shorter hike, around 7.5 miles, I do have some shorter hikes planned for the afternoon in Grassy Highland State Park. But for now, my main goal is to reach those balds first and then summit Whitetop before turning around. I'm getting close to crossing the access road to Whitetop Mountain, which I'll return on the way back down. But around 4,800 feet, the forest is really beautiful, really nice stretch of the Appalachian Trail through sparse open understory of short northern hardwoods that I can't pick out per usual. I'm bad with trees, but this is a really pleasant stretch of the hike, and this is kind of what it's looked like the entire time. Looking forward to getting up on those balds. I am well past the first road crossing, the only road crossing I should say, and it had good views, and then it dove into this section of trees here. But now I'm at the main event. These are the balds that you can see from the highway, from other peaks. Even though this is higher elevation, it looks like this series of rocks out there is what's known as Buzzard Rock. Looking forward to getting out there. It is around 12:10 p.m. and I've reached Buzzard Rock, my turnaround point. It is an incredible stretch of grassy balds below Whitetop Mountain. Really nice perch up here. You can see wide open rocks for sitting and having lunch all the way down. Now that I'm on Buzzard Rock, my turnaround point, it's time to show you the views and pick out some of the peaks. You get almost 360-degree views from this rock, but you're blocked of the northern view by this mound, and when I go back up there, I'll show you the excellent views north into Virginia and West Virginia. While I'm up there, I'll also talk about Whitetop Mountain. But for now, I'll show you the incredible 180-degree panoramic views from east to south to west of the mountains around the North Carolina northwest corner. Towards the east is the Blue Ridge Escarpment around the North Carolina-Virginia border, including Fisher Peak and Dalton Park. An amazing panoramic southeast-south view of the Amphibolite Mountains. I've hiked almost all of the notable peaks in this range. Towards the southeast is Phoenix Mountain and Mount Jefferson. Due south, this long peak with multiple craggy points is Three Top Mountain, and on the left, that is Bluff Mountain. On the right of that, also south, is the Peak, Elk Knob, and Snake Mountain. And then further in the distance there, that's Grandfather Mountain and Hanging Rock. And you can see on the right, towards the southwest, are the Roan Highlands. Zooming back out, sorry my hand is shaking a little. These are some of the lesser Iron Mountains that I hiked last February. On the left is Pond Mountain. This is the old Christmas tree farm bald. And this is Stone Mountain. And on the right of that, before the land drops away, is the tri-state corner of North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. I know the sun is really brutal, but you may be able to see the house on top of Pond Mountain, and you can definitely see a house on the right side of Stone Mountain. Buzzard Rock is down there, and now I'm on the higher rock outcrops, and they have a really amazing view to the north of the Virginia and West Virginia Allegheny Mountains. And I can pick out two of the biggest because they're on many peak bagging lists. On the left here, I'm fairly confident in the northwest direction. That is Beartown Mountain, over 4,600 feet. And almost due north, a little bit craggier, this peak right here is Balsam Beartown Mountain, over 4,700 feet. And both of those are tough bushwhacks that are at least like on a bunch of county high point, Prominence, Virginia type lists. And I think even further north, these peaks over here are the north side of Pearisburg and Blacksburg above the New River Valley. I can't really pick them out, but I believe I'm looking at Peters Mountain and Bald Knob, which I hiked Bald Knob during the summer. I'm gonna zoom back out here. Now I'm gonna go up to Whitetop Mountain, and the Appalachian Trail splits right down there and goes into the forest, and the old AT, at least how it's labeled on maps, follows this track and looks very easy and scenic, which is nice. I thought it might be tougher to follow, and it takes you all the way to the road up top where I'll bag the summit. Almost to the top of the road on the old AT. I know the climb from Buzzard Rock to the top looked pretty easy, but it was deceptively steep. It's kind of like many of the balls in North Carolina. When you break out into the open, you can see the summit straight ahead, and it looks gentle, but oftentimes these trails follow old forest roads which never switch back. And that was a solid 450-foot climb up to where I am right now. I know it doesn't look like it, but definitely a few hundred feet above where I was standing earlier. That's just how it is at Hump Mountain, Big Bald, Max Patch, many of these. It's just a straight up final push to the summit, but it was really beautiful. And I'm ready to bag this peak. I'm at the tower complex around the summit of Whitetop Mountain, and all I need to do is go around the east side of the fence and find the high point in the forest over there. Before I do that, I should show you the maps before it gets too late and I finish the hike. There are actually two maps you can use for the entire Mount Rogers National Recreation Area of Jefferson National Forest. One is a little bit newer and covers a smaller area but has better detail. That is the map. I usually prefer the Mount Rogers High Country map. This map covers the west side of the National Recreation Area, basically from Damascus to the Little Wilson Creek Wilderness, which is just east of Grassy Highlands State Park, and that has a 1 in 35,000 scale. The slightly older map is just the Mount Rogers map, and that covers basically the entire National Recreation Area in a 1 in 75,000 scale, and it has this insert for the Mount Rogers Grayson Highlands area at 1 in 30,000, but it's actually cut off right at Whitetop Mountain. And it's older, as I said. You can get lost using that map. So this map right here, need my foot. Okay. Bluff Mountain, where I did earlier, is right here beside the Whitetop Summit Access Road. The main hike starts at Elk Garden, and I followed the orange Appalachian Trail out to Buzzard Rock, and then followed the old AT up to the Forest Road. It says there's an overlook right there. I didn't really see one that was worthwhile. And the actual summit of Whitetop is right here above the P symbol. Now, after I bag the peak, I'm going to follow the road back down to the Appalachian Trail, back to the parking area at Elk Garden, and I might go up the small bald right above Elk Garden, which is the high point of Balsam Mountain. That was a wide open bald. It had great views. And that would be my entire 7.5 mile hike to bag these peaks. I believe this is the high point of Whitetop Mountain. From what I remember on Peak Bagger, it is on the east side of the fenced tower complex in a grove of trees. Additionally, there's an unnatural collection of rocks here and 2 pieces of wood pounded into the ground. So I think this is it. On Peak Bagger, it's listed as 5,540 feet, and on List of John, it's 5,580 feet. Either way, it is the second highest peak in Virginia, and also the second highest peak in the Iron Mountains of Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. It is a county high point, although I forget which one, and also has prominence of over 1,000 feet. So it is on quite a few lists that I'm trying to finish. So this is a nice peak bag for me. It's also unique in that this northern fringe of the peak is a small zone of southern Appalachian spruce fir forest. This type of rare forest you mostly see at the highest elevations in North Carolina and Tennessee, above 5,500 feet. There's also a nice collection on top of Mount Rogers. And I'm guessing once I get more to the north, which I'm not going to do, there's also a nice dense grove of this type of forest. Once you go past this mountain range towards the Allegheny Mountains and the central Blue Ridge Escarpment of Virginia, you'll no longer see this type of forest. So it's a rarity around these parts. On hiking upward, we already have this hike as an out and back from Elk Garden to Buzzard Rock. And you may wonder, why would you want to take the road down? Well, I'll show you why. It's open the entire time. It's incredible. And finally get my first views to the east of the Mount Rogers Grayson Highlands area. Can't really see the true summit of Mount Rogers up there, but probably will be able to see it later. And these multiple craggy peaks are part of Wilburn Ridge. And then this is Haw Orchard Mountain within the state park. You can see how curvy this road is. It's just wide open. I think right down there, that's the parking area. That's right where the Appalachian Trail crossed the road. So it's a pretty quick descent. And frankly, the only people I've seen today on this trail, not on the trail at all, are the cars on this road. I'm getting a little bit clearer views of Phoenix and Mount Jefferson and Three Top because the sun is moving further southwest, which means the silhouette effect is lessening. This is awesome. Typically, I'm not a fan of long walks on gravel forest roads. This is a huge exception. This road is beautiful. It is just constant turn-by-turn view from grassy balds all the way down. And it's a lot better than just backtracking on the Appalachian Trail, which has an extended section through hardwood forest. And you get a much more expansive view east of the Virginia Blue Ridge and the peaks around Roan Highlands and Mount Rogers. Really, the only drawbacks are the power lines and the constant stream of cars, which is understandable on a beautiful weekend day like this. But yeah, I know our hiking upward post is out and back. I would do this instead. I might make this a separate hike, honestly. I'm at the top of one of the peaks of Balsam Mountain, also known as Elk Garden Peak. It's a short 200 or so foot climb out of Elk Garden below, which is a beautiful gap between the Mount Rogers area and Whitetop Mountain. You can see the sun's already getting low in the horizon. It's around 3:20 p.m. and sunset is 5:22. It's only got a couple hours left of daylight. And this is going to be the end of my hike, I think. And what a way to end. Got the first open panoramic view of the hulking Mount Rogers covered in spruce and fir. You can see this incredible bald in a small saddle between Mount Rogers and Thomas Knob. Somewhere up there is the location of the Thomas Knob shelter, which I maintain is the most scenic shelter spot in the southeast, although I haven't been to enough shelters to really confirm that. And then this is part of Pine Mountain and Wilburn Ridge and the headwaters of Helton Creek, which flows into the North Fork New River in North Carolina. It's kind of the creek I followed on the way up here. And a great view of Phoenix Mountain to the southeast. Also got great views again northwest of Beartown Mountain, and Balsam Beartown Mountain sticking right above. It's around 3:40 p.m. and I'm walking back down to the parking area at Elk Garden, finishing up my day without doing the extra bit at Roan Highlands State Park. And sorry the sun is directly in my face right now. I'm squinting very heavily. In total, I've probably been hiking around 5.5 hours. I think my initial side trip up to Bluff Mountain was about 35 minutes of bushwhacking, just under a mile. So I've been hiking to Buzzard Rock and Whitetop Mountain for around 5 hours. And I believe that hike in total is only going to be around 8 miles. So I feel like I wasted a lot of time today, but that wouldn't be the right word. I spent a lot of time at all of the amazing overlooks at Buzzard Rock, the Axis Road, and this peak right here. Well worth my time. And since it was a short day, not much elevation gain, my legs feel really good. No soreness at all from what I can tell. And my plan originally was to go to Grassy Highlands and do 3 short loops that would total around 5 miles to Hall Orchard Mountain, Listening Rock, and Cabin Creek Falls. And that would have taken around 2.5 hours, I think. And from this parking area, it's around 30 minutes to those trails. And plus, Grassy Highlands requires a $5 entrance fee. So I'd rather do that on a day when I have a lot more time to explore those short trails and other trails I haven't done in Grassy Highlands. So, finishing up this amazing section of the Appalachian Trail. If you are tired of the crowds at Mount Rogers and Grassy Highlands and don't want to pay an entrance fee, you should definitely drive up to Elk Garden. The road is paved, the views are spectacular, and I hardly saw anyone on the trails, mostly just cars. So see you guys next weekend, hopefully. Maybe you'll get more beautiful blue skies.